Hello everyone and welcome back to GreedFall. I'm in a good mood today. Got a bit of a graphics card upgrade, tuned up my settings a little bit, put everything on Ultra. Not really much of an upgrade, I actually moved one card from one system back to the other, but...
She said that the village was devoured by the houses of the sons. How could their chief accept this?
All that's left to do is to find Father Justinius.
Ooh, what do we have? This is a very interesting village. Yeah, got an upgrade for one of the systems. Made a lateral move on another. Ended up dropping out the 980 for a 1080. Hooray.
Welcome to Eden, the lighthouse of faith, harmony, and civilization in these wild lands.
Thank you. Desade. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I am Father Justinius. Delighted. And what may I do for you?
The Mother Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
That's excellent news. The loss of the tablets is a catastrophe. We have to find them at all costs. If you want to learn more about these tablets, you should go ask Sister Eugenia. She supervises the theologians who discovered them, and were also guarding them. You should find her a bit further in the village, with her colleagues.
Who are the suspects of this theft?
The heretical brutes of the village of Vedlug most likely had a hand in this. They must have wanted to please the demons they worship by stealing the holy word from us.
How could they have learned of the tablet's existence?
Perhaps the demons are giving them this power. Unless one of the natives living in the village innocently mentioned them. They are so naive. Either way, I am certain that the heretics are involved in this matter.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always...
I wonder
Yeah.
how my people could accept the priests settling in their home like this.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. The theft of the relic is probably not a coincidence.
Interesting that he has more dialogue.
Father,
I'm glad to
Ah,
tell me about how you created this village.
We did not create it from the ground up. It was built around an existing native village. The islanders called it Vixenagad, which translates to the village of the old sage. We saw it as a sign. The natives had probably chosen this name in memory of Saint Matthias, and everything here fit the description of Saint Lucius. The discovery of the tablets proved us right. So, we decided to rebuild our Eden here, in the spirit of peace and harmony which is described in the scriptures.
I really do wonder if the story that we found out from those two archaeologists at the very beginning of the game will ever become relevant. About how the guy never left the island and so on and so on.
Why share this village with the natives?
To replicate and resume the work of our founder, of course. If he came here and managed to convert the natives, then it is our duty to do the same thing. By living side by side with them, it is much easier for us to pass on our teachings.
How well do you get along with the natives who live here?
Very well, of course. Especially since those who opposed our presence left.
Left? To go where?
Oh, to other villages, I imagine. Does it even matter? Those who stayed are on the path of enlightenment. Some of their legends must have been about Saint Matthias. That helped to convince them.
And how well have neighboring villages welcomed you?
With some reluctance, to be perfectly honest. So, we sent them missionaries. There are still frequent conflicts with the village of Vedlug, a highly violent village of heretics. But the other villages, the more peaceful ones, are slowly starting to listen to the sacred word.
There are no Onol Manawi and no warriors here either. Did they all leave?
Perfect harmony takes time, my child. I have no doubt that one day we will manage to convince your kind to convert. But in the meantime, we must settle for the miracle of great coexistence that this place already represents. Nobody thought we could live side by side with your people, and yet...
Sorry about that. Adjusting the arms on my chair.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened...
I probably have to go down and around, don't I? That would make the most sense. But man, they are really building this place up. I have to say I do dislike it.
I am busy. If you have questions, go see Sister Eugenia. She's our
Yeah, okay.
Hello. The Mother Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have a lot to do.
I talked to Father Justinius. He told me that you were supervising the theologians here.
Indeed. It is under my supervision that the research on Saint Matthias is conducted.
Whom do you suspect of being the thief?
Alas, I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us, or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
Phrasing, those who had to leave. Not those who willingly left, those who were forced out. Just saying.
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Matthias later, but first we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to, but I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
I imagine someone was keeping watch over them.
Of course, we took turns guarding the shack, but some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you.
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village had been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writings, and then I stayed.
What was the reaction of the natives when you arrived here?
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them. They were afraid we might chase them out of their own village. And there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of Saint Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Were there any confrontations with the natives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminous actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug, but we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty then. Will you talk to me now?
Greetings. Desarde. I am handling the investigation into the theft of the tablets. Sister Eugenia told me to talk to you.
I'm Brother Virgil. What would you like to know?
According to your colleague, you were the one in charge of guarding the tablets on the night of the theft. Is that right?
Indeed.
What can you tell me about that night? Did you hear or see anything?
No, nothing in particular. The night was quiet. And then, the morning after, we saw they were gone.
Someone had to enter the shack to steal the tablets. How did that happen?
I have no idea. The door was closed in the morning, and the lock was intact.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Not really. What I can tell you for sure is it is not one of us.
Well, Sister Eugenia did tell me that the tablets were priceless.
Of course. But our motivation is not the lure of profit. All that matters to us is their value as proof, not the money we could make out of them.
Interesting cutscene right there.
Do you think the culprit could be a native?
Well, since none of us did it, it seems obvious. There aren't many other settlers around here, and the natives knew of the existence of these tablets before we found them. They were attached to them too, in their own way.
They are the ones who led you to.
Now that's interesting.
We conducted the research, but they helped us find where they were hidden. Some inhabitants of the village are still giving us a hand with our work.
Well, thank you.
As you wish. There were witnesses to the discovery of these tablets.
What do you mean?
Now we can prove Saint Matthias lived here. Our actions on this island are justified. To keep rummaging the way Sister Eugenia does will only create more tensions with the natives.
I was not expecting a theologian to say such things. Have you been in Eden for a long time?
2 months, approximately. Back then, there were still some pagan natives in the village. I joined Sister Eugenia's team with some of my colleagues, so we could give them a fresh outlook on things. We arrived straight from Ptolemy, hoping to study some new texts. But once we were here, I understood that my real mission was with the islanders. We must bring the light to this island.
I see.
You talked about a mission with the natives. What did you mean by that?
I may be under the command of Sister Eugenia here, but my superior is Bishop Domitius. Our mission is to banish pagan cults and convert the entire population to the light. The island belongs to Saint Matthias, and therefore to Ptolemy, since the god of light offered it to our founder.
You have a very unique way of seeing things. I doubt everyone accepts it.
Yeah, well, you know.
How are your relations with the natives?
When I arrived, we were still trying to obtain information from them about Saint Matthias, but they were very reluctant to give us any answers. We were also trying to educate them. Our attempts eventually made some of the inhabitants of the village react badly. Most stubborn against our teachings, the warriors and the marked. The ones the natives call the Onomanawi. They eventually left, and it has proved nothing but a blessing for us. I would like to go back to work now, if you don't mind.
Of course. I will leave you to your work.
Interesting how the story is slightly different based off who you talk to. Although that does make sense. It would be more telling if it were a very rehearsed story and were exactly the same based off of who you talked to. Come on, I can't go down that. But I can do that. Makes sense. Hello there, Chief.
Hello. I am Lair, the village leader. Well, it was the leader of this village.
Hello. Desade. I am the legate of the merchant congregation.
There are Onolmanawi among the Logead Blau. I did not know that. What do you want from me?
Weller, ruler of Omicron Perseid,
I've heard a lot of
tell me
things
about
this
Eden.
village of Eden, but I'd like to hear your version.
I'm not sure
Hello.
I have the answers
never mind.
to all of your questions, but I'll try.
Tell me about the arrival of the people of Ptolemy and how you received them.
The priests were roaming around the village. They were saying that it was the place where their saint had lived. They were asking questions, talking about the Lloyd and all these things. One morning they were building houses next to ours. And we had new neighbors.
The priests told me that they had managed to convert you. How did that happen?
As long as we refused to listen to them, they were violent, and they destroyed some of our sanctuaries. So we let them talk. And now that they think that we love their god, they leave us alone. Some of the things they say are beautiful, and their magic is impressive. But we do not forget our spirits.
Sounds about right.
One of the theologians told me that you had helped them in their research.
They wanted to find tracks of the old sage, of the one they call Saint Matthäus, and they were rummaging through everything. Our Donegad did not want to tell them anything, because the old sage is sacred here. But since they violently interrogated everyone, I thought it wise to guide them to the place where the stones were.
Interesting that he acknowledges that the old sage and Saint Matthias are the same individual.
What happened to your warriors? Why did they have to leave the village?
They did not accept the presence of the priests and their questions. They tried to retake the village. They even asked Deirdre, the chief of Vedlug, for her help. So, the priests called the Soul Lasser, the Burning Suns, and they killed many of them. I asked for peace, and the others left us. They wanted to join Vedlug. Perhaps they have done so.
Aren't you angry after all that happened?
No. I mourn those who died, of course, and the Vorstyrent. But this village may be our opportunity.
Your opportunity for what?
For the Renaigse to understand who we are. Not savages, nor monsters, but men. Perhaps wiser than they are.
Yeah, that's gonna fall on deaf ears, I'm just throwing that out there.
Like so many others.
I knew that the story would be more complex than we'd been told.
The priests separated this village into two parts. The exiles must be broken-hearted, having left their clan behind.
On the other hand, had they followed their chief's example, this wouldn't have happened. Either way, the resentment here is strong enough for a theft to occur.
Alright, let's see what we've got.
There is only one entrance and the door shows no evidence of a break-in.
This priest, Virgil, said that the night was calm. So calm that he probably fell asleep. So, the thieves only had to take the key from him.
It's very likely that that's what happened, but someone must have informed them. It can't be a coincidence that they decided to steal it during the watch of the only neglectful guard.
You think that the one who told them is in this village?
We know that this theft could be an act of vengeance by the natives who were forced to leave here. They must still have allies in the village, family or friends. We should go talk to the chief of the natives. He will certainly know who is close to the exiles, and enough about the researchers to inform them.
Okay, back to the chief, even though I was just there. I will say that is one of my complaints about this game. There's a lot of back and forth. Like, that, in my opinion, would have been one of those instances where intuition would have been very useful because it would have let me see a contextual hint to skip past that back and forth.
Do you need?
I think I know who stole the tablets.
Really?
I believe those who were exiled from your village seek vengeance because the missionaries forced them to leave. They must have taken the tablets with the help of someone else who stayed here.
You may be right, but you may also be wrong.
You do well to tell me what you know. Once the priests have reached the same conclusions as I have, how do you think they will interrogate you?
I do not think they will hurt us. They want peace too, and violence would break it all.
I understand why you are no longer the chief, if you do not even know what the inhabitants of your village are doing.
You're right. I was indeed a bad chief. I couldn't even convince those who left to stay.
I understand why Since you do not want to talk, I will have to tell the Mother Cardinal to send the Ordo Luminous. The Inquisitors will make you confess the name of the person who helped the exiles.
You wouldn't do that. The Solasser would burn the entire village.
He's not really leaving me a choice. Right. Let's go back to San Mateus.
Wait! I think the name of the woman you are looking for
Oh,
is
come on.
Vinwall. She helps the priests who seek the old sage.
If she's helping the priests, why would she betray them now?
Her son is one of the warriors who had to leave the village.
I wish there were a way for me to leave a conversation with someone.
If you go talk to
I didn't
her,
want to make her
please,
mad.
do not hurt her. She is but a mother who acted according to her son's wishes.
I have no intention of hurting her, but things may not be so simple when it comes to her son. I have to go.
Like.
Karans, do you need something?
I must leave you.
Yeah, we're still good enough with her. I do wonder why we haven't had any more friendshipy things from her or...
Remember that note we found
Oh.
in Rolf's office?
Of course. The one that said the recruits had been sent to different governors.
Yes. It was signed with a name I'm familiar with. Herman. Somebody I'd hoped never to cross paths with again. He was the one who founded the camp we closed. And believe me, he has done an incredible amount of damage to the guard. I'm gonna find him and make him pay for what he's done. I know that he's in San Mateus.
Another time.
Anything else?
I must leave you.
We'll finish off that quest. Why do you only want to talk about your dead dad? We'll finish off this quest and then we'll, Did we ever... After going through all of that to get her mother back, we never actually buried her or saw her get buried or anything. You would think that after putting in the effort, we would at least get some closure for her.
Greetings. Are you Vinwall?
Bird tier Tumad. Yes, that is me. What do you want?
What can you tell me about Lair, your former leader?
He is a man of peace. Some people dislike him.
Hello?
Not me. Everything he did to save the village.
Ah, yes.
But I think the mind shakers made him forget what we are. He almost speaks like
Oh.
them now.
Perfect. Let me give that a shot real quick, see if that modem is up and running. Ah, looks like we're good, actually. Alright. Well, thank you very much. Nope, that'll be it. You have a good night. Yep, bye. Well, shit, they did something good. And timely. especially considering it's fucking 1 in the morning. So I activated a new modem tonight, hooray! And my internet service provider is dumb and had to do it themselves instead of having a web portal to do it through or automated system, but that's neither here nor there. They actually did it in a timely manner, and it worked for once. This is literally, and I'm going on a rant here, this is literally the 5th time I've been told that they finally made the upgrade to support all DOCSIS 3.0 modems. I have bought and returned 4 modems because I've been told they had by their own technicians. And then I try and activate it, and then it won't activate, and then they say, oh yeah, we're trying. The technicians don't know what they're talking about. Like, what? But it actually is true this time. So, hooray. Progress. I missed everything she was saying about him.
Tell me about.
He is a man of peace. Some people dislike him, not me. Everything he did to save the village. But I think that he almost speaks like them.
Listen, I know you helped the exiles to steal the tablets of Saint Matthias.
No, this is not true. It wasn't me.
There's no point in denying it. I know you did it for your son who had to leave the village.
If you know that, then you know that I don't have the tablets. So what do you want from me?
The only means of alleviating the situation with Teleme is to give the priests their tablets back. So, if you don't want your son to suffer their wrath, it would be best if I could retrieve them discreetly.
Bran and the rest of the exiles are hiding in the woods, beyond the stone circle. If you want to take the tablets away from them without being seen, do not take the path on the left. It is riddled with traps. And please, do not hurt my son.
Don't take the path on the left. Noted. I will take the path on the right. Unless she's trying to kill me, and the opposite is true. We will find out. How far right do I have to go to get this right? That's, I suppose, really the question. Well, that guy looks a little unfriendly. Too many trees. Can't see what's going on. Jeez. The deer.
Be careful!
Oh, there's one more in there. No loot for me, I guess. That's fine. That is fine. Interesting. Well, I'm assuming that's the path to the left. And I see a camp, so that's where we will go for the time being. And that's where we're going to end things. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Thank you all for stopping by. Sorry about answering a phone call in the middle of everything, but hey, it is what it is. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.